right, welcome to another take two. Yeah, welcome to another episode of Burning Time. Here we go. All right, there we go. Got it out.
Right?
I'm trying to be Porky Pig over here.
That makes me think of that, yeah. That's all, folks.
So we had a pretty good little weekend here, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're coming a little bit late. Second time.
Yeah.
I think we were late the last time.
Were we?
It's bound to happen at least twice a month.
Wait, I know we skipped
Twice
a
a
week.
month.
Twice a month.
Yeah.
What kind of
Like
cycle is
it's like
that?
a 50-50 chance.
Yeah. Just saying.
Damn. All right. I always thought it was once a month, but showed
No,
you how much I know.
Not around
That's
here.
Okay. Well, especially, I mean, you know.
As long as we get it done. That's all they care about.
Yeah.
We're having fun doing this, and, you know, we got other stuff we got to do sometimes.
Other responsibilities.
All the responsibilities. We got,
Yeah.
we got a kid.
Yeah.
Right?
I know.
Are you sure?
No. Well, I
Okay.
wasn't sure about that, but, you know.
Yeah. You only, camped out for the last 3 days?
Yeah, that was quite a process.
Yeah, no.
For the
Explain
last
it-
day.
Explain
I can only
exactly
imagine
what
3
we
days.
what we had to do the first day that we got there.
Well, what were we doing?
What were we
anyways?
doing? Yeah, explain the whole thing.
So for the last Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, our son was racing at a flat track national fair event.
And what is flat tracking? Because I'm sure there's got to be some people out there that
It's like a
don't know what it is.
It's an oval track, small oval track
That's flat.
that's flat.
That I mean,
That's-
It's track
in
that's
girl
flat.
terms, it's a oval track that's flat. Yeah.
But they race dirt bikes, quads, go-karts, even some bigger novelist bikes out there.
Yeah.
Just guys going fast, turning left.
Almost like what you see.
Right.
sprint
Turning
cars,
left, steering right.
Yeah, dirt oval.
Yeah.
Man, just
Yeah. Clay, dirt. Yeah.
clay dirt. Yeah.
Do you think
Yeah.
they're as good turning right as they are turning left?
No.
Do you think they practice?
If they ran
left?
the other way, nobody'd be able to do
I was
it.
gonna say I have a feeling if they were as good turning right as they were turning left, they'd do regular motocross. They wouldn't do flat track racing.
Mm,
But on the flip side of the coin, now it's a hell of a lot harder than it looks.
Oh, yeah.
oh no,
definitely.
I get
Turning
it. I
left?
mean, watching that. No, believe me, I don't have the skill to do that.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I mean,
No,
it's I give it a lot of credit seeing all these. I mean, especially even Kenny, just going out there to freaking be in front of tons of. How many people were out there? Spectators? What do you think?
a couple hundred.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he even was.
It's a
fazed
small
by
event
that.
with a big crowd. You know, it's a free fair that goes on, so it's free to get into the fair. You got to pay to get into the races. This year, our son was old enough to be able to participate.
Now I get them mixed up. That's the Carruthers Fair. That's not the Harvest Festival, right?
No, it's Carruthers Fair. Harvest Festival is Kerman's Fair.
Kerman's
Yeah,
the Harvest
right.
Festival. Which is really tiny.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's real small.
Literally, it's like the size of
Inside
our
of
property.
I think it's in like a schoolyard, basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's not very much.
it's still cool to go to, though.
Oh,
Yeah, no. I
No,
think
it
it's
supports different groups and stuff like that, so it's a good thing. It's good times, you know. But yeah, no. So I've been having to get to the track. Got to the track late Thursday and found out that wasn't a good idea because I was like probably the 40th car in line
Yeah.
all the way around. Once I opened the gate, took me probably close to 45 minutes, an hour to get into the track to even be able to set up.
And we're not talking, this isn't a big fair by any means. It's a little farm town out, you know.
Yeah, but a lot of people like racing out here, and there's
It's just, it's the funny thing about it, because it's like, if you start talking about big lines and all that stuff, people would probably, you know, start to assume that it's a big thing.
Yeah, no.
But no, you look up Carruthers Fair,
it's tiny.
it's a little farm town
Which
fair.
I love about that. That's what I love about that fair is because it's free to get in. It's tiny. You know, it's like it's a good fair.
You know what it
Really
reminds me
fair.
of? You guys have seen, what was that movie? The Great Outdoors.
Yeah.
That carnival that
Yeah.
they have.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Like that's nothing big, you know.
They've had scenes like that, the carnivals like that in a lot of movies.
The
I know
sa-
what you're
the
talking
same,
about.
The same
Same
rides
kind
have
of
been
feel.
going out there for 30, 40 years, you
Oh
know.
my god. I have a story on that too.
But yeah, no. So I showed up Thursday at like I think 2:15, 2:20, 2:30ish. It was pretty far back, but pretty much stayed there from the 2:30ish to about didn't get home till like 11 Thursday
Yeah.
night. And so Friday I ended up going early. I left the house at like 12:15 or so. Got there like right at 1 o'clock and waited 30 minutes, and I was the first one in.
Yeah.
So
And then, well, we got there a little bit late
yeah.
yesterday, but it wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't that bad yesterday.
Well, because yesterday, you get smart as the days go on, right? So yesterday,
Yeah, so like
you already had the pop-up tent out there.
yeah, well, the first day I didn't know we could leave our easy up or pop ups out there.
Right.
So
Did you still have them at the same spot?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Luckily I got the same spot, except for when I got there, the people running the event wanted me to push my pop up closer to the guy that was next to me, and the way it went was the guy that was actually next to me, the kid, didn't have a pop up, and he was friends with the guys with the next pop up down from that, and so I was trying to give him the same amount of space because I knew
Right.
he was coming
Yeah, I
back,
mean-
and I set up my tent, and they came over and they're like, "Oh, hey, you need to push this over," and I was like, "Well, there's a guy." He's like, "Oh, we got a whole bunch of people coming here, and there's no reserving spots for people you don't know." So I was like, "Okay, well," I pushed it over, and luckily they got there before somebody got into the other side of me to where I
You
couldn't
could
move
it back over.
Yeah,
Right.
so I kind of just loosely set up all my stuff. It wasn't that big of a deal with what he's riding right now. It's a little PW50, so I was just
Yeah.
no
we don't
tools,
get a
no
big
nothing. I
spot.
didn't even bring extra fuel.
I was going to say, you're hauling more shit to keep comfortable than you
Yeah.
are to work
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the fucking bike.
Yeah, more worried about chairs and drinks and
Yeah.
easy ups and stuff. But luckily they got there and I was able to get all my stuff moved over and give him his spot. But we figured out that night that we could leave the easy up and then we didn't have to worry about being first one at the freaking gate also,
Right.
But yeah, no, the two guys that were next to us
Oh, man.
Thursday night both blew up their motors and their quads.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to talk about that dude on the bike.
No, we were surprised to have that dude be there. I was surprised to show up
Yeah,
on that
no,
random ass.
Was he
freaking
not there
dude.
the first 2 nights?
No.
Oh,
We had
okay.
some cool ass fucking kids that were like
Okay.
kids isn't like 20s.
Relative term. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the kid that was next to us, really, like what you'd expect in like a hometown person, just
Yeah, good old boy.
yeah, easy to talk to. What's this? What's that? Oh man, And, if I could help him, I'd help him out. Obviously, I didn't really need anything, but yeah, I know the guy next to him, which was his best friend, cracked his case on his bike, so threw him out first. I think that was the heat, and they're racing for money too. It's not.
Yeah, some of the
it's-
classes were payout classes.
Yeah,
It's not like Kenny's where it's just,
yeah.
it's a little
So I get
trophy.
they're in it to win it.
Yeah.
There's
Mhm.
$1,200 on stake.
Yeah.
So the guy, I think the first heat ended up cracking his case. He was all mad when he came in, boy, throwing his helmet. It's like, it's like an $800 helmet. Why are you throwing that across
It's
the
like,
ground?
right, you already got to drop like a couple $1,000 in cases. Why add another $1,000 on there?
Like shit. And then the kid next to me. So the main when their main took off, when their main took off, I think so. No, that guy had to have cracked his case in the practice.
Probably in practice.
It had to have been practice because the kid next to me, because we weren't there for their main. We took off our son's main was before theirs, so I
Right.
didn't see
Yeah,
their
their
main.
main.
So that had to have happened during practice. And then the kid next to me during their heat popped his
his up.
top in. And it was just like, and they're both, they're different bikes. They're two separate bikes, but they're the same
Yeah.
makes, same models, same motors. And it's just like,
Yeah.
shit, it's just not a good night for 450s.
Okay, just take the broken
Oh.
parts off with one, put the good parts on the other, make one bike, and at least one guy gets out there.
I don't think they had enough tools for that.
Yeah,
though.
no, that'd be a hell of a job to do in the pit. I kind of want to get one of those go-karts. That shit looks fun, dude.
Yeah, and they're the Harbor Freight Predator motors.
Yeah, it's not like it's a super expensive class. I mean, the most you're gonna really get into it is if you decide you want to put a body on it.
Yeah. No, and if motor blows up, you just take it out, take it over to the Harbor
Get the
Freight,
warranty on
get a
that
warranty
fucker,
motor.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, that shit
I was
looks like
I was talking
fun.
with another guy, and they go down by the Predator motors, tear them down, do everything to them except for they leave the crank in there. They don't do anything with the crank, but everything else they change, and they get. He was saying 32 or 40 horsepower out of them or
Yeah.
something like that.
Well, they got that one now, the Ghost motor. Supposedly it's already kind of souped up, like
Oh, yeah?
ready to go. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, these guys the first night, Thursday night when we were there. So there's different classes you can enter into. So you can enter the same bike into multiple different classes, as long as the rider wants to ride it. Well,
Or the same rider in multiple classes.
yeah,
Different
yeah. You
bikes.
can,
Different bike. Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
can. Right.
Yeah.
and if there's enough bikes on the field, I heard them saying that some people run the same class twice with the same bike.
Mm.
And they'll make it to where they can put them into different spots that way. So if they lose in one race, they're still in the race from this other spot. And then when it comes down to the main, if both numbers made it, they just enter in whatever bike and the other one's out. So
forfeit whichever one
now
they
they're
don't
down
want.
a rider. Yeah.
Huh.
It sounds like some of these guys do some really dirty stuff out there, dude.
Oh, dude. Speaking of dirty shit, it's not something that you guys are typically into, but it's a hell of a story. But we'll talk about it in a little while.
But so he's on a little PW50, and they go out there for their practice, and it's a whole bunch of other bikes. And they didn't have a PW50 class; they just had a first timers class.
Right.
Well, come to find out, some of these first timers have been first timers for like
2 years.
3. Yeah, I've heard all the way up to 5 and 6 years sometimes.
It wouldn't surprise me.
And so,
Which is not what we're gonna do.
No,
yeah,
not at all.
yeah.
Totally.
And so, and some of these kids are on, factory race bikes. They're on KTM's and little Husqvarnas and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And
No, there's a couple of. There was 2 in particular that I saw out there in the first timer class. Those KTM's. They were on a different level than the rest of the kids.
oh yeah, oh
They
yeah,
they
Oh, yeah.
definitely should have been in a different class.
yes.
You could tell they were sandbagging.
Yeah.
And everybody's known for doing that out there.
Oh yeah, it's common.
Anyway, so first night I was kind of. It wasn't that bad because I think there was 4 PW50s and then one KTM and then one of the
There wasn't many racers, the first night.
Japanese bikes. I don't even know what the name of it. It's got a little like chainsaw motor in it, pull cord and start this thing. But it's set up. It's about the size of the KTM, and not like the SX Mini. It's almost the same size as a 65.
There was
Just
one I saw out there that looked boxy as hell, almost looked home built.
That was probably the Cobra. Or wait.
No,
You
it
talking
wasn't
about the
Cobra.
one with like little 4-inch round wheels?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he wasn't there Thursday night.
Okay.
So the guy with the kid with the KTM, his dad was kind of like egging him on, like, just get out there and nail it. It's like, dude, you could probably run faster than the PW50s, like at least the kid went out there and lapped everybody like 2 or 3 times. That's pretty bad. At that point, the people watching the show should have been like, hey, we're gonna put you in this other heat,
Yeah.
But anyway, so they didn't. And
They had another another class for the kids, right?
yeah, there was 3.
They're the first timer, a 50 and a 65 class, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what they were doing is because nobody showed up, they pushed them all back into pretty much one group because not enough kids showed up Thursday night. So Friday night, all kinds of people showed up.
Yeah.
And I mean, there ended up being 2 groups with like 8 riders in each group for the first timers for the little bikes like my
Oh,
son.
wow.
Yeah, there was a lot of kids there.
Yeah.
And out of them, there was like, I think 4 KTM's, a little Husky, a Cobra, I think that Japanese bike, and that was just in the race he was in. And then that was the second heat. The first heat was like 5 Yamaha PW50s, which was the same as him, and then these little Chinese bikes.
Rinky dink.
Yeah. And so go over there and tell him. I was like, what the fuck happened here? You know, like, how come he's in the class with all the KTMs? He's just gonna get ran over. You know, they were putting 2 or 3 laps on him yesterday. You know, like, no, I don't think so. You know, like, what the hell? And they're like, oh, da, 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 da. No, I was like, look, he's with all the KTMs. All the PW50s are together in the first race. Why? And they're like, oh, well, he finished third. And it's like, no, he didn't. I watched him. He didn't even finish the race. You know, like, he didn't, the checker flag went out for him, but he was still
like
freaking
lap
Yeah.
2 laps down,
right.
you know?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, no, it shows that, so it puts into there. And I was like, okay, well, even at that, if he finished second to last, the bike that was behind him was a PW50. So why aren't both of those bikes in the second
same
race?
one. Right.
You know? Like, makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
And they couldn't, all they could sit there and tell me was, oh, the computer generates it, and that's how it is. It's magic. And it's like, no, it's not fucking magic, dude.
It's magic.
man. We don't know what happened.
And so they're like trying to get me out of their hair, and they're like, so if we move them from the second race to the first race, you'll be good? And I was like, yes. Okay, just put them in the first race. Cool. So go put them in the first race, and then the second race, the first heat, sorry, I keep calling it race, the heat, that's what happened. And so when the main came out, it was the same thing. And they're telling me this paper's computer generated, right? Everything is exactly the same, down to the pole position. I mean, everything, all the names are the same.
Right.
They're not in different orders. They're all. It's like you know what I mean?
Grabbed the wrong paper. There's probably another one sitting there that was different, and he just fucking grabbed the wrong one.
That's
they
what
the same one. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, but I can't argue with it. Like, I was arguing with him because I took pictures of
I was
it.
gonna say, I heard you went soccer mom.
Oh yeah, no, I went over there and fucking told him, this is bullshit because he's not. I don't want him to get hurt, and I don't want him to hurt anybody else. I want him to go out there and just have fun right now and want to go back next year. And they're gonna put him out there with those KTMs. They're gonna be pulling 4 or 5 laps on him, and
Yeah.
I've already told him you can't drive into the infield. They're gonna black flag you, and then they'll kick us out. And that's what it states in the rules.
Oh, and that was in his head too.
And I made sure that
He knew.
because when he rides at the house, he kind of goes wherever he wants.
Yeah.
And so I kind of beat it into his head. Don't go in the infield. We can't come back. And he really wanted to be there, so he was not going in the infield.
He never did.
No, he never did. But like at the same time, when these bikes are 7 times the bike of his, he doesn't need to be out there with them.
Right.
He's gonna get enough out of the way to get into the way.
Yeah.
You know?
They need to put a little more forethought into their
and dude, the
scheduling of it. I don't know how you would put it, but
yeah. Well, then the guy is at the deal where all this paperwork comes out, or I'm sitting there arguing with him, and eventually I looked at him and was like, you know what, fuck you, dude. You're not going to help me. I'm not going to let him race out there. I'm not going to put him in harm's way, and I'm not going to put him in somebody else's way, to somebody else to get hurt. It's not fair to anybody.
Yeah,
I know better.
Have a faster bike run up his ass because he doesn't know how to get out of the way.
Yeah, or he's going to get clammed up and stop.
Right.
But he's not going to go in the infield. You know what I mean?
He's going to be sitting there in the track.
Yeah. And so I turned around, and him and Rachel were standing there. I was like, all right, we're done. Let's get the fuck out of here. Like, he's not going to go race. I'm not going to put him in danger like that. And we start walking off, and then I see some of the...
Which he really, really wanted to race.
Oh, yeah.
He did. He was very excited about that next race. It was day 2, the second race. He was excited. He was already jazzed about being there.
Oh, yeah. No, he really wanted to be there.
Yeah.
But, so the club members that are actually running the race, I seen a couple of them, and I stopped them, and I asked them, I was like, hey, let me grab your ear real quick. Let me run this down to you. And I showed them the main event. I showed them the heat and showed them the names are all the same, and told them, they let him go into the first one because of this. All the PWs are in the first one. Why isn't he? That makes no sense. Like, am I stupid for even thinking this? And they're looking at me like, no, how come that makes no sense? They would have put him in there. And I was like, and I told him the way he finished the heat race, he didn't even really finish all the laps, and they were just like they're looking at me and they're like shaking their head and they're like, dude, I'm sorry. I think it's wrong, but there's honestly nothing I can do because I'm not even helping out tonight. I'm racing tonight, so I can't be part of this. Shit. All right. Well, it sounds like I'm fucking fucked. And he's like, looks at me. He's all, my dad's coming over. He's a little bit better at this. Talk to the dude coming off the track right now. So I go walk over there and talk to him, and he tries telling me the same thing, and I tell him the same thing, and he's like looking at me like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like what am I gonna do?
Go
Yeah.
talk to this guy. So I
Right? Yeah.
run across the track, and I go talk to this guy, and telling him the whole thing. He's like, yeah, dude, that makes no sense. I don't, if I was you, I would just push them into the first race. They're not going to know any different. I'm like, I can do that because I will do that. And he was like, let me talk to this guy. I don't know if I want to say his name.
Yeah.
Don't say it.
Talk to this guy
Yeah.
because this guy, he's kind of in charge of all that. And if he let him go through the first race, there should be no reason why he wanted to go through the second race. I'm like, okay, well, whoever we got to talk to. And so he's like, follow me, and I'm like, hey, the bikes are lined up and started already. If he's going to race, I need to get to him and get him over there. And so I call Rachel and tell her, hey, get him ready, get him dressed, get him to staging. And
He was already pretty much ready.
Pretty much ready. Yeah.
hung up, and the guy's like, yeah, I talked to him. He said he's good to go. Just get him in here right now. All right. So I go running out the exit gate. Well, Rachel already had him. I figured they were still suiting up.
No,
I run
I
all
was
the way.
already
He's
almost
already
there.
over at the
Yeah,
staging area.
Yeah.
I run all the way to the pits, and he's not there. So I turn and I run all the way around to staging and catch him right before they're getting in. I started up and I start pushing them like,
It
let's
was
go,
like
let's
right
go,
then
let's
and
go.
there.
Right there, yeah.
He went right through everybody in and out. I wish I had had the GoPro on. That would have been a good night. We got him out there and he raced, but I mean, he's still, I don't care if, of course you want him to win. 100% you want him to win, but him getting the experience, get out there and do it,
It's a big deal.
and want to go back next year, it'll start pushing him a little bit more, I think.
He doesn't get, when he starts racing and the laps start going, he doesn't know how many laps there's been,
Yeah.
So he doesn't know if he's won. He's 5. And so
Yeah, and-
it's just the experience at this point of just going out there and I mean he went for himself. Sometimes he went fast. But he can go I know he can go faster.
Yeah, the main thing is to have fun.
Yeah, of course.
Win or lose, have fun.
Oh, he
It's-
did.
especially at the level that he's at,
Yeah.
because there is no money involved. There's no chance of him getting a sponsor if he does
Right.
good right now. There's none of that there's no stakes. He's just
Right.
having fun. And, that's, I kind of wanted to touch on that. It's like our friend, which we'll leave totally Wall anonymous, but the way his kid reacted when he didn't win, when things weren't going right, I was like, man, that's just like, that's the thing you got to avoid.
But that's hard, especially in this. I see what you're saying, but it's kind of hard in this sport
No,
because you're so competitive.
yes and no.
I would want to win too. Especially if I was.
But there's a way to accept loss, and there's a way to
Yeah.
not accept.
I think it's
loss.
just the reaction. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah. No, I felt like Kenny did really good. I felt like he had a lot of fun.
Oh, he wanted
He
to
had
race.
a lot of fun.
He went out there every race. He went out there every practice.
Yeah,
every
we asked
heat.
him like every morning, right? Do you
It
want
was
to every
all
morning?
his choice.
He woke up. We were like, do you want to go back out there?
We
Yeah.
gave him options, and he still chose it. So
Right.
Are you sure you just don't want to go like the first race and then you can sit out the second race? No,
No.
I want to do both races.
but he wanted the trophy.
Right.
He really wanted that trophy, boy.
Want the ride? And
Yeah, and so we get there yesterday, and well, let's go back. So Thursday night when we were leaving, I going out the gate. I just stopped and talked to the 4 dudes that were sitting around where you pay to get in, and can I ask you guys a question real quick? And they're like, yeah,
That was Friday night.
Friday night.
Yep.
Let's say Saturday night.
You said Thursday night.
Thursday night. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit tired still. So, anyways, we're leaving. I stop and talk to these guys. Can I grab your ear real quick? Like, my son's on a PW50. You guys know what a PW50 is? Like, yeah. I was like, okay. KTM 50 SX Mini. Do you know what those are? Yeah, I kind of know what they are. Would you agree that they're more of a bike than a PW50? They're like, oh yeah. Like, yeah, I would definitely do that. And I'm like, well, how come they got the fucking, the Thursday night and then tonight they had all the fucking KTMs trying to race with all the PW50s? Like, this makes no fucking sense. They're just gonna run those fucking kids over. You guys just need to have a PW50 class. Like, it makes no sense. These kids are saying they're fucking first timers, whatever, fucking either way, a fucking kid on a fucking factory race bike out there fucking lapping
The
fucking
first time where he's
kids.
pulling wheelies down the back straight.
I'm
and shit.
surprised he wasn't. He was probably holding back. I guarantee you he probably was. But because he was running knobbies on the back too, I mean, like, it ain't hard to pull a wheelie on that motherfucker,
Yeah.
But got to talking with them, and they kind of understood where I was coming from. Like, concern is I don't want him getting hurt first off, and not wanting to come back. He's gonna get hurt. He's a child. It's gonna happen one way or
Yeah.
another, especially fucking in the sport that he's doing. So if we can avoid, him getting run over or possibly injuring somebody else, wouldn't we want to?
Well, not only that, it's like somebody sitting in the crowd, the bleachers. It looks like he's getting his ass kicked,
Oh yeah,
spanked,
walked on.
walked on, because you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like they're way faster.
Well, they're putting 2-3 laps on these bikes. Like, yeah.
Well, like you said, it's really not a fair fight because the KTM has 3 times the horsepower.
Yeah.
It's literally 2-3 times faster than what that little PW is.
Yeah.
So what do we need to do now? KTM and a track.
Yeah. No, we're going to have to do something different. So,
I'm gonna slip a 65 into a 50 chassis and
fuck yeah.
make it look like a 50 and
Yeah, boy.
run him in first timer until he's 13.
He'll be in the first timer class and the 50 open class.
Right. Running the same bike.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But anyway, so Saturday they actually started a PW50 class, but there was only 3 kids in it. In the heat, one of the dads got confused because you go for practice, and then they run every class, and there's been like anywhere between like 28 to 32 fields. So you go to 32 fields, and then you go to your heat. You do the 32 fields, and you go to the mains.
Right.
And he on the practice, they kind of do a mixture that just start throwing all the little bikes out there. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter, and
Doesn't-
that I get. You're
Right.
not racing around the track. You're just cruising around.
Trying to figure it out,
Yeah.
get a feel for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so the heat came up, and the dad pushed his daughter that was in the PW50 class in with the first timers that had the KTMs and all that shit on
Oh,
it.
shit.
And then so his first heat, it was just him and one other kid.
Yeah.
It was a no show for the girl, And that's another thing. Like, how do you fuck up on that?
Maybe they don't know.
They got a piece of paper
No,
saying
not
what.
them. Oh, I thought you were talking about the parent. I was gonna say the
No.
parent didn't know.
No, yeah, I get that.
Okay.
It's so confusing. The parent's not
It
going to fucking
is.
know is what
They
I'm
don't
saying.
know.
I think at that point too, they don't really. I mean, for lack of a better term, they don't really care.
Well,
Like,
it's
oh well, there's the kids out there. All right, kids are ready to go. Let's go. Let's let them run.
Yeah,
know?
I don't think they do either.
Yeah,
there's
I
definitely
don't
some
think there's
negligence
like,
in there because they get a deal saying, okay, heat 1 is you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that are racing. You got numbers 22, 84, 908, 597, whatever your plate number is, and then their name on it. And it's like, how are you going to let 9 bikes go by? How are you going to let the numbers out or on your list go by? Like, you're staging them, you're pre-staging, and he's got like 15 minutes to stage these kids and start going down, and they can stage up to 9.
But again, what I'm saying is, I think because it's such a low stakes situation, and it's just a matter of more or
They
less
just
the
want
kid
bodies on the
driving.
field. Yeah.
Right. It's basically
Yeah.
they're just like, okay, whatever. You know what? There's fucking 12. There's supposed to be 11. Big deal. Let them go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a matter of just not caring.
Well, it definitely is negligent somewhere.
And they don't care that these kids who are like 5 years old are staying up to 10 o'clock, 11, 12 o'clock at night. I mean, God, what happened last night? I was told that I had to wait for a trophy.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
really?
in their defense, in their defense, it's like that no matter where you go in like the dirt bike
Yeah, but they didn't do
Terreno
that the
things.
first 2 nights.
Well, no, I mean, but what I'm saying though, as far as like the late night stuff,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
it's you go anywhere in dirt bike stuff.
Yeah.
Typically, it starts shutting down around 10, 11 o'clock at night. You know,
Yeah. Which I don't know how we're going to keep them up for stuff like that.
No.
Figure it out, huh?
We figured it out Thursday and Friday, or Thursday and Saturday, Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
Thursday night was hell. He was falling asleep. That was all I could do to keep him awake, dude. We were at the staging line. He's like nodding off. I'm like, dude.
slap him around a little
Wake
bit,
up.
fucking squirt some water in his face.
Open your eyes. Open them.
He cruised around that track.
He just put it on cruise
Yeah,
control.
he
Yeah.
honestly did not.
And I
no.
don't blame him, dude, because
Oh, we didn't care.
He
We
was
were like, at
falling
that point, we
asleep
just
in the chair in the
just
pits,
to finish it.
like. But
when
we
he
had
was
no
that tired.
we had no idea. Like again, there was another point where there was no.
Oh.
Okay, we're gonna open the gates at 2. No, they didn't open the gates till fucking 2:15, and then practice starts at 5, and 6 o'clock came around. They're almost ready to start practices. You know, it's
Mhm.
like, and
I don't know if they still do it anymore or not, but the Chowchilla barn burner, that used to be a really fun one. It was basically a flat track race, but it was held underneath a big old pole barn out in Chowchilla. You know, and I think they had they might do bull riding or something like that there at other times.
Makes sense, yeah.
But yeah, they take this fucking pen and convert it into a flat track. And it was a big event. I mean, you see guys coming from like back east and shit out there
Yeah.
running. Yeah, I mean, that shit was wild, dude. Some of those guys, on the dirt bikes, like you think they were fairly quick out there. These guys over here in Chowchilla, they take those bikes and they're literally dragging the peg through the dirt. You know, it's wild. There's nothing in between. You couldn't put your leg in between the side of the bike and the ground as they're sliding around the corner.
yeah.
And they pop that shit right back up and go down the back straight and do the same thing on the other corner.
I don't think I really. I like the flat track. It's fun, but
Yeah.
I just feel like I don't know. I like to go out and ride around and have more scenery and stuff like that.
Oh, trail riding's a whole
you
different.
know,
Yeah,
like I love trail
100%.
riding.
But that flat track is fun to go watch.
It is. It is. I don't know. We'll see where Kenny's at. He might like the.
Oh, everybody keeps telling me to take him out to Little Okie.
Yeah,
Yeah, I really want to take him out there and see what's going on.
yeah, that's a cool spot too.
So when can we take him out?
Go figure. I think the season's almost over with, honestly.
Well, I mean, can we just go out there just to watch and
Yeah.
see if he even likes it?
Yeah, you can go watch.
know what I
You can
mean?
go spectate a race.
Maybe we just go watch,
Yeah, you just gotta figure it
and
out.
then he.
I think you're on
gets
Facebook, right?
Yeah.
I'll try to find a page and I'll send it over to you. That way you can see their scheduling.
Yeah, and then just look and then we can just go out there. He can watch, and then he can decide if he wants to go out there.
Yeah,
And
'cause
do
it's a
it.
whole different world.
It's a whole
Oh,
exactly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I've been hesitant to take him out there.
Yeah.
The jumping thing.
I want to
love
see
the
him jump, but I don't want to see him jump.
Yeah. Well, that's the area where that little 50 would really start to shine. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, you think there's a difference out there on the flat track. That suspension's on a whole different level.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I know. It's also a whole different price level too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About what?
$7,000.
This
No,
is
they're
an
not that
expensive
bad.
Yes,
sport,
sir.
to be
No,
honest.
I just looked them up, dude. They're like $4,500
No, they're 559999
for the 50.
for the 50SX.
I thought I looked it up the other night, and I could have swore it was like $4,500. I was like, oh, that's expensive, but it's not that bad, I guess.
Yeah, it's an expensive sport. Very expensive. Like we had to pick the most expensive sport. We couldn't pick something like soccer or something like that. It's a little bit less expensive at the moment.
Yeah, but this kind of has a
It's kinda
career
fun.
path available if you really
No,
wanted
that's
to
true.
pursue it, and not
So does
just,
every sport, though.
yeah, but this one in more ways than one, because even if he decided he didn't want to become a rider, let's just say he got really into the mechanics of things, he
True.
could go down and actually become a pro mechanic, and those pro mechanics, they make
Make
a
good
damn
money.
good
Yeah.
living, So there's all kinds of shit that he could do that would revolve around that motorsport thing, just from having an interest in it from the start and being in it
Right.
from the beginning.
Little. Yeah. No, I
So,
think it's great, to be
Yeah,
honest.
no, it's a great thing to do.
What are you
So
looking up?
MSRP. MSRP from KTM is $46.99 plus $385 freight.
Yeah, well, I told you it was 45, 46.
That yeah. That's KTM's price on their website.
So order it from KTM. Fuck these other guys.
I don't think you can quite do that. It would be nice.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
We're getting into the big boys now. Huh?
That's a lot of bike too.
That's true.
You could find a used one though.
Yeah, no, I've been seeing them
$2,000.
used 2 to 3.
Yeah. And it's already gonna have a few little upgrades done to it.
He needs a bigger track. That's the thing. Like, we have this tiny little area for him to ride. And it's like,
We got a big old area for him to ride. Just
we need
somebody
to
just needs to
manage
get
it.
in there and start doing some work on it.
Just gotta go
Yeah.
get the tractor, really.
Yeah.
Do it. I want to see. Honestly, I want to see it.
A lot of work.
I know.
I know.
I would love it. You know,
Oh,
he
yeah.
would to have a bigger area to ride.
Yeah.
So I know you guys aren't. Well, do you have any more on? the
No, I think that's enough for me.
enough for you. All right. I know you guys aren't real big into fishing, but this one pretty fucking wild. I guess there's a fish called a walleye.
Walleye,
Yes, and it's pretty
like
popular.
wall, WALLEYE.
Yep, walleye. Pretty popular fish for tournaments. For guys go out and you catch 5 fish, and then they weigh the 5 fish. Whoever has the most collective weight, you can win some serious money. I mean, we're talking 50, 60, 80 grand. Some guys win fucking boats that are worth $100,000. There's just like real people make careers out of this shit.
Right.
This video kept popping up, and also I watched it, and there's these 2 guys that were well known for being like killers in the walleye tournaments. They won. I think there was something about, I don't know if it was just last year, their total winnings was somewhere in the neighborhood of $300,000 or $400,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus boats, and they've got
Yeah.
sponsorships, so they get free equipment to use and all this other shit. Well, so anyways, they were at this tournament over Lake Erie, and they threw in their fucking 5 fish to get weighed, and they were weighed out, and they were way over the top, broke a record or some kind of shit. Some people got suspicious, and so they decided to do an inspection, because walleye is one of the few tournament deals. Typically, you got to keep the fish alive in order to weigh in. At weigh in, the fish have to be alive, or else they don't count.
Okay.
Walleye is one of the few they don't. So, well, for whatever reason. But anyways, people got suspicious, and so they started cutting into these fish, and they were finding like these fucking 1 pound lead weights stuffed
the
into the
fuck
fucking bellies of the fish.
Oh shit.
Yeah. To the tune of something like 8 pounds or something like that.
No way.
They even found cut fillets of, I think it was walleye, of all things, shoved down the throats of it into the gut to add a little more weight.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, a big old fucking thing.
Ooh.
And police ended up getting called and involved, and I guess they got arrested, and because it's illegal, because it's theft by deception. And
Because there's
yeah.
money involved. Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I want to say the purse that they were winning on that one was like in the tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was pretty wild. These people had some videos of it, and they were cutting open the fish, showing all these weights popping out of them, and all these people, you motherfuckers. And it's like, oh, so this is how you've been winning, where's that fucking crown now, you son of a bitches, and blah, blah. And it got to the point where, like, hey, somebody needs to call the cops, not only to arrest these guys, but to keep them from getting their asses kicked before they get out of here, because there's a lot of people here that are about ready to fucking rip them to shreds. And somehow they got out of it without getting their asses beat, but yeah, cops got called, and yeah, I think they got arrested for it. But fucking crazy, straight stuffing these big old fat fucking lead weights down their throats. Just
makes me think of the KTM thing. I don't know, people just
well,
cheating for shit.
That's what kind of, that's why I was like, I got a story later, but
yeah, it's like people just, what is it, the game? Learning how to play the game?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, but that's
But that's horrible.
Yeah. Come on.
It's greedy.
Yeah.
Unethical. I want to say they are going to get charged with poaching and shit too. So,
or where you thought I thought where you were going with that was like these guys are raising them in a pond in their backyard and just, like how you do a cow, just fucking feed the
Oh,
fuck
Oh.
out of them or
No, no. Straight fucking just shoving lead weights down their throats.
Die.
Well, and like, yes, that's kind of the way that they were seeing it as a loophole. Because, like I said, most tournaments, you go like bass fishing tournaments, you have to keep your fish alive. They have to be alive when you weigh in. And I guess because walleye, there's something about even when you do a tournament, it goes against your limit for fishing them because you have a daily and a total limit of fish that you can have. And so being that it actually goes against your limit and you end up keeping the fish at the end of the tournament, they don't necessarily have to be alive when they do a weigh-in.
Maybe that's where they fucked up.
Yeah,
So,
change the rules
Yeah.
so they don't do that shit no more.
but they just got fucking greedy.
It's crazy.
If they would have been doing like a few extra ounces here and there, which is what they probably have
Right.
been doing, I bet you that they did start off just like, well, fuck, you know what? Let's just throw like an extra couple of ounces inside these fish, and that'll just pad our weight
That's
a little
not
bit.
enough.
And
Load
they
it
were
up.
seeing, well, that was the thing. They were probably seeing her like, oh shit, look, we got these
Oh.
guys that are on fire. We're against, they're probably gonna
Yeah.
kick our ass. Fuck that. Load them up, boys. Let's
Yeah. Oh, it's too funny.
Oh man.
Oh, that's
The
interesting.
things people do, like,
Yeah.
I know.
Just so blatant.
it just makes you really wonder how long they'd been doing it though.
I
That's true.
bet you for a while.
They're gonna investigate that, I'm sure, now that they're arrested.
I don't know how they would really be able to prove it though, because the fish are long gone.
True that.
So
Yeah, they wouldn't hold
I'm
up when you were in trial.
I'm sure
The
that they could
evidence. Yeah.
probably discredit them and just basically say, yeah, you know what, put an asterisk next to their name in the books, like, oh yeah, they won, but
Yeah.
they were also caught shoving these huge ass lead weights down fish, 2 years later. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think they were banned from the whole fishing thing? They can't do any more tournaments or anything like that. Doggy's barking.
No, I think we're good.
Yeah.
Quiet. That's what's kind of scary. We went from a bunch of dogs barking to
To just
complete
nothing.
quiet.
Hey.
I don't know if that's like a toddler. It's like when they're quiet, you're kind of worried. Why did it get
Go in
quiet?
there and
all
they're
of a
talking to
sudden?
somebody in the corner of the room that you can't see.
Oh, it's happened.
Yeah, it has happened.
It's happened. He woke up one time laughing at somebody in the corner.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was telling them jokes or something.
No,
Wasn't it?
no, he
Or-
was just laughing. They were something really funny.
I thought he said that the person was like an older person and was telling him jokes, like an old man was telling him jokes or something.
I don't think I don't remember that part.
No.
No. But no,
Yeah.
yeah. That was crazy. That was
Yeah.
scary that day. What are you laughing at? Weird.
You don't believe in ghosts?
I never said that.
I believe in ghosts.
100%.
Yeah, for sure.
There's definitely something other
There's
than
spirits
us.
out there. Yeah, for sure.
Dude, what about those damn gnats out there at the fucking track?
It's because of the tree that we were sitting next to, I think.
It had to be. Those things were
Yeah.
just maddening.
Yeah, we somebody told me to get closer to the main gate where you come in, but it's like
I don't want to be where the party's at.
I don't really
I was
want to.
gonna say
be
'cause
over
that's
there.
like all the young people and
Loud music.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to be where the main people. I don't need to be the end club. Like I like kind of being on the outskirts by ourselves.
Yeah.
To be honest, I like it.
Yeah.
I'll deal with the gnats.
Feel like you're less watched.
Yeah, it's kind of like more comfortable. I like that. I liked where we were. I don't know. The gnats didn't bug me that much. They were,
They're bad for a couple hours. You get there and they're gone like after an hour.
yeah.
I gotta figure we've been there for 2.5 hours by the time you've gotten there.
Is that why?
Yeah. Oh, them fuckers are there all
I'm like,
day
it's fine. There's
long.
no big deal with them. What are you talking about?
So,
But that's what I
Oh,
told Art at one point. I don't know if it's just that you get so used to it you don't give a fuck, or they go away.
I thought
They go away.
They
they were
do.
coming in waves because there were times when it was like, yeah, it's not that bad. And then all of a sudden it was just like, Jesus Christ, get the fuck out of my face. And then you look down and there's like 40 of them flying around you. And it's like, what the fuck?
I think they go away when it got cooler.
Mosquitoes. I seen this. I know just kind of just jumping topics here, but
Oh, talking about bugs.
yeah, I guess. Found this interesting article that apparently if you slap the shit out of yourself, mosquitoes might not fuck with you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
No?
No.
It's like a surefire way. Apparently, mosquitoes learn not to mess with you if you swat at them. Technically, is what's going on here.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say that's kind of different than what you just said.
Well, it's not because so obviously they're attracted to you by your breath and all kinds of other blah blah blah, right? The jarring vibrations of a slap may be enough to put the mosquito off of your alluring aroma, even if your effort didn't manage to mash the insect to a bloody pulp.
I don't know. I've tried slapping them, seen come back to the same fucking area right away.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I've tried everything. They're evil creatures that need to just. I hate them.
It says right here that researchers put insects through tests involving tiny flight simulators, mini wind tunnels, and the odors of humans, rats, and chickens. The results, published in this week's Current Biology, found that mosquitoes were capable of remembering the defensive individuals for at least a day, avoiding them like the plague, or in their case, avoiding them like DEET.
I don't know where they're getting their mosquitoes from, but they need to come over here.
The researchers looked at AIDS, AEDES, AIDS, right? AEDES,
Is it uppercase letters?
uppercase A, and then EDES.
It's probably abbreviation for something.
Oh, it's AIDS aegypti. See it?
Oh, yeah, I have no idea what that is.
Okay. Well, anyway, that's the type of mosquito. That's the type of mosquito that they checked out, and a species that evolved to like us, to like us.
To like us, like us.
They love us.
They like us
fucking
like
us.
love
They
us,
like us.
apparently. Yeah, the entire mosquito has evolved to identify us
like
and
you.
to bite us.
like you.
They are especially sensitive to temperature, so to the water vapor from our sweat, to our body odor, and to the carbon dioxide from our breath. So their entire sensory system is geared toward locating us.
No,
if
that's a beautiful turd.
Right.
If kept from their preferred food choice, the mosquitoes will make do with blood from cattle or dogs to sustain themselves, but that's only if they have to. In other experiments, researchers showed that even mosquitoes that only had access to dogs or cattle for most of their adult lives would gravitate back to humans if given the chance.
Well, yeah, we're easier.
Yeah, they love us. I'm saying.
They
like,
love me.
Like you.
I
Yeah.
already got bit like 4 times since we've sat here.
So
Yeah.
they
I sprayed
basically
myself.
they wanted to look into what drove the preference for a host and if mosquitoes might learn to avoid certain humans that proved too challenging. So
Are you too challenging? Is that why they don't come after you?
you gotta be like a
Fast
fucking
like a
ninja.
tiger. Like a tiger.
Yeah, we all have our own scent signature, and a fingerprint, if you will.
Maybe that's what it is.
So
they like my scent. They don't like your scent.
that's they're just like
smelly to them.
yeah, they're sitting there smelling one or the other, and they're like, nah, we're gonna go over here.
Gives me one more reason not to wipe my ass.
Gross. Oh my god.
Shit.
So glad I love you.
Shit. The fingerprint is stable, doesn't change very much over the course of weeks or months. So it's, I guess, not involved with your
Once you're
diet.
tagged, whew.
Yeah. Mosquitoes, once they're actually biting you, they are smelling you. If you try to move your arm to shake them off or try to swat them, they will feel the vibrations of your swat and learn negative association between those vibrations and your scent. Given that we each have our own scent fingerprint, we found that they can actually remember certain individuals.
Makes me think of bears, like what to do when you see a bear. When you see a mosquito, be all crazy.
Make yourself big.
And they just like, oh no, I'm not going back to this one. That's That's what I got out of that story.
It is right here.
That's what I got out of that story.
In other words, bugs could learn to avoid the scent of a swatty human.
See?
They replicated an annoyed human with an experiment baited with thin nylon socks worn by undergrads to get them nice and smelly to mosquitoes anyways. They went to a bunch of undergrads and were like, hey, can we have your socks? No, not your new ones. We need your used socks. Don't wash them. Oh, no. It's for an experiment. Trust me, it's for an experiment.
I'm sure it is.
They were happy undergrads because they wanna be.
I wonder if they bought them, or if it was just
fucking hey, they bought them.
Yeah, we gotta pay for them.
We're selling farts again.
Are you familiar with this market?
All I'm saying, if people are selling farts, and
that is true. Yeah, we did talk about that.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Jinx.
So okay. The scent was too faint for a human nose, so they say. Yeah. It's probably already been all sniffed out by those sick fucks. Yeah. They're like, okay, now we can give this one to the mosquito. What was interesting about this was the individuals that they remembered the most were the ones that were highly attractive. And he's not talking about physical attractiveness. You probably have friends who remind the world of their mosquito attracting abilities, saying, oh, mosquitoes just love me constantly during the buggy months of the year.
I hate them.
They might not be exaggerating. In this case, mosquitoes reacted most strongly to scents they previously used to gravitate towards the most. It makes sense if you think about it. What if you love donuts, and just as you were to take a big old... Well, no, listen. What if you love donuts, and just as you were about to take a big old bite out of a chocolate glaze, it suddenly tried to stab you to death? Like if you're sitting there just like, oh, donut, and then all of a sudden a knife came out and was just like stab you.
That's what I'm saying. I need to be crazy when I sit out here in my seat, donut. So that they don't attack me now. I need to be all crazy like this when I'm sitting here.
Holding that motherfucker in the milk.
Die, motherfucker, die.
I'm eating you.
Oh, shit. Now picture if another food tried the same thing. Say maybe celery tries to blood you while you're dutifully snacking on the bitter wet threads masquerading as food. Feels different, right? The donut's betrayal would hurt more because you really love that donut.
Yeah.
While you always kind of suspected celery was out to get you.
You're celery and I'm a donut. That's what I got from that.
Yep. So basically, they avoided certain odors as strongly as if they were experiencing 40% DEET. They can really remember the odor, and it can cause a high degree of repellency in them. So yeah, they figured this out by gluing live mosquitoes to a thin insect pin that acted like a tether, keeping the bug in place while it tried to fly towards or away from scents. It's like virtual reality for the mosquitoes. It's a great way to test their behavior and see what they're learning. So yeah, they basically tested them and
found out what they liked.
Yeah,
they like donuts.
Quite a bit of other stuff. So yeah, if you eat donuts, be careful. They might try to stab you.
So random. Oh my god. Was that your switch knife?
Yeah.
I liked it. Oh, how are we doing on time?
I don't know. We are, well, pretty close. 54, 55 minutes.
Pretty good. I need to get a kid and shower.
Not too bad. So yeah, I guess we can end off on Swatty McSwatty face.
I had a sweaty kid in sweaty gear yesterday. Then I need to get in a shower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta swat that BO.
Yeah. Make sure he
and
doesn't.
I'm next.
All right. Well, in case you guys didn't notice, we were shy one person today.
That voice is not here.
Yeah.
Oh, you should hit that button.
Yeah, hit the button.
Well, Mr. Nope.
Hey,
he wasn't here. Somehow the crowd approved. So
you know that's a beautiful turd.
There we go.
There he is.
Yeah, because he was
pull my panties down to my ankles and fucking sit here like a goddamn baseball catcher.
That's what he was doing. He was too busy fucking playing with them panties, waiting for a phone call.
Oh no, for reals though. Hopefully everything's good with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm sure everything's fine.
I don't know what he is. What is he?
Stepdaddy.
Stepdaddy,
Stepdaddy.
steppapa.
No, but hopefully everything's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. All right, guys, we will talk to you guys next week, and have a good week and all that good shit. Talk to you later.
Damn.